Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life, and this is the official Open Signal report. I'll leave a link to it in the description for those of you who may want to check it out. So there's confusion out there. So is Verizon perhaps now the best 5G network, right? We're looking at rankings, we're looking at reporting, and Open Signal has favored T-Mobile for years and years, right? But now, if we're looking at the 5G category, which T-Mobile has claimed to be the best 5G network, Verizon is the winner on most of the categories except one. So that's very confusing. That's going to be very confusing for the consumer, right? T-Mobile's putting out all these claims, and then you have a testing firm saying, no, Verizon has the best 5G video experience, the best live video experience, the best gaming experience, best upload experience. And then T-Mobile only wins the best 5G download, which we've known for a while, right? They've been the fastest. That's nothing new here on the channel. So there's a legitimate question, right? Because even on the overall experience, T-Mobile wins all the categories outright, right? And that probably has all of the technologies, but I would assume mostly LTE would be involved, right? Not many networks have 3G and HSPA anymore. So it's mostly LTE 5G, and T-Mobile wins overall, but they lose most of the just about all categories except download on 5G, right? So many have reached out and said, make that make sense. And I was like, I don't know how you make sense, right, of that. That's why I always say I look at all of them. I look at Open Signal, I look at Ookla, and then I look at Root Metrics, and then I form an opinion that way, right? And it's getting harder to do so because now Ookla is saying that T-Mobile has the best network, and that's what T-Mobile is celebrating, and that's what they're celebrating and claiming. Now, Open Signal is saying, well, wait a minute, maybe Verizon does have the best experience on the 5G network. So it's getting just a little confusing, right? So just be on the lookout for the Root Metrics reports. That'll give us a bit more of a clearer picture of where all this stands. But just be mindful that most of the experience depends on you, right? How does this specific carrier that you're joining or that you're with performs in your neck of the woods, where you work, live, and play? That's what it 9 times out of 10 comes down to, right? I know price is a factor and everything else, customer service, but most of the times it really depends on, does that network work for you? I have people messaging me saying that T-Mobile's dropping calls, right? So that individual person is now going to switch more than likely because they're having a bad network experience, even though it may work 90% of the time. But when you're dropping calls and maybe you're on an important call, it may not work, right? It may not work out for that specific person. So that's an individual experience, right? So when we look at these reports and then you tell me in the comments, well, this is my experience, we're looking at national reports. We're looking at overall studies, right? We're not just basing it off of one experience, but we do have to take into consideration that it does, your opinion and your thoughts on the network does matter the most because you're the paying customer. So let me know your thoughts on this testing. Let me know if you think it's getting a bit confusing. Let us know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.